for ff7 Remake after everything's been said and done. Remember, this is going to be spoiler territory. I don't want you to listen to any of this if you have not finished the game. Or if you're really curious about the Whispers and you just have to know. You'll find out a little bit towards the ending, but you still won't get your full answer on it. So, I'm here to do that for you. And we're gonna explore that territory a little bit more. So the Whispers kind of pop up throughout the whole game. There's a couple instances in Chapter 4 and Chapter 7. Anyway, throughout the whole game, we're seeing the Whispers. Essentially, they are the reunion members. And they are the warders also of the basically changing fate. They are the warders of fate. They want to, keep you from doing fate. But the narration that's done within the game, man, we have a couple things going on here that's pretty huge for the game. Essentially, this narrative of the Whispers, we are the Whispers. We're the ones keeping Square Enix from, and it's kind of trolly the way they do it, but it is a part of it. Also, there's Kyrie right there, if for those of you that didn't notice it. She's also in Chapter 2, which is kind of cool. You can find her on the train, which is kind of funny. So, anyway, guys, back onto the Whispers. There's a lot of things going on with the Whispers. The Whispers really are... The reason the audience are the Whispers is because Square wants to change a little bit of FF7 to explore more territories, explore more things. They're kind of giving us a hint towards like, hey, what if scenarios, and we see that towards the end. So again, we're getting into spoilers. This is your last chance, but we see Zack at the very end. That's a huge hint. That might be DLC for us to play as Zack. Maybe we save Zack. Maybe there's a part where we can see Cloud or fight as Zack, and have maybe Zack in our team later. Maybe we can have Zack, actually, a part of the team. Another what if scenario. What if Aerith survives? And she stays on with you. So I don't know if they're going to go the direction of. I really believe the Whispers to be, and it's really funny because if you play the game, you'll see that in more towards the end than not, you'll see that our fandom does not want us to change the story.
You okay, buddy?
But we want to have a little bit of creative reign here. So it would be super cool to be able to tweak a few things in FF7 for what if scenarios. Maybe, I don't know if they can do this, but it would be really cool if in the future of the game we get to see just the normal story. You can play the normal story, and then you can also play an optional what if you make a certain decision, changes the whole fate, if you will. You know what I mean? So this kind of leaves it open for them to commoditize the series, be creative still without pissing off the fandom, and C, DLC content. It's gonna be a huge moneymaker. And I mean, who doesn't? Even if you love the franchise, you're gonna love to get more FF7, even if that's as optional content or changing the story just a little bit. I wouldn't like them to take a full right turn. I'd like you to just follow, you know, the normal story, of course. You know, I'm a hardcore fan too. You know, I would love them to follow just the normal story, right? But we don't have that promise to us. So what could happen is we could just follow the story and then have these optional endings or optional detours within our game that will change the game. So, you know, moving forward, you know, all of a sudden you have Zack on your team. And he's in Goggenhagen when you go and visit. And you're like, what is, how is he here? You know what I mean? So, and he's a playable character. And this and that. You know what I mean? So, there's these really cool basic creative opportunities, essentially, for FF7 Remake to take that direction. And I don't know if they're coaxing us towards that, because they're saying the Arbiters of Fate, which is awesome. So they're trying to say that, hey, you know, if these things change, you know, we can move towards that, you know, no big deal. But if we don't, we shouldn't be mad either. So, you know, I'm just hoping that, you know, that we're able to do that, you know, so because that's a huge thing, I think, that we'll be able to really enjoy, you know, and man, it's gonna be a lot of fun, you know what I'm saying? So I think this is a huge opportunity for Square Enix to capitalize on one of its biggest franchises, which they will do, which I encourage them to do, which, you know, that's okay. And also it will give them creative reign to expand the story, expand the lore, expand kind of the world of Final Fantasy VII as a whole, because there's just a lot of characters and a lot of places and a lot of stuff. So it's amazing, you know. We can really I don't know. We can really, you know, have a great time doing that. So anyway, that's it with the Whispers of Fate. We really are the Whispers, because we're like, hey, don't change the story. Don't change the story. Stay on the story, right? And Square's like, but we wanna change some things. And it's like, if you don't give the creators a little bit of free reign, you know, it's like, you gotta have them enjoy what they, you know, what they do too, you know, for them to make a great thing. Which, this was probably the best game I have ever played. You know, the original Final Fantasy VII, I mean, just a legend, and that was obviously one of my favorite games, and one of the games that got me into strategy games and tactical stuff, and Final Fantasy Tactics, and I mean, literally opened my eyes to RPGs as a whole, for me, but
the news is just another Shinra.
So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little theory talk. I love to continue the conversation with you guys, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.